to good morning, everyone. We are here live with a bunch of real estate agents on a Saturday morning talking about what's happening in the rental market, what questions to ask at an open house today. I've got Stevan BUBALO. Stev, how are you this morning?
Good, thanks, guys. How's everyone doing out there?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
And
From the hills,
the famous
the northern beaches, hey?
and
Definitely.
so. Oh, hang on. I'm still on the phone with you guys. Sorry, I've got to hang up. There you go. And guys, PARAZ&BAZ, real estate agents from the Norwest Business Pass, ANMOL and GURDEV. How are you this morning?
Good.
How are you?
Good. So, guys, let's talk about your end of the market with rentals and stuff like that. What's happening out there? Because I think through COVID, you were just saying before, ANMOL, it's been really interesting. The rental market hasn't operated like it's operated the last 3, 5, 10, 15 years. What are you guys seeing in that part of the market?
Absolutely. Okay, so there's two emerging trends. One of the ones that we've seen is that those that were renting commercial premises and say their leases were coming up for expiry, they are now pursuing sort of the higher end of the market properties where they're using part of it to run their business and using the expenses of the rent to offset their business costs as well. So they're making a saving from commercial rents. They're working from home, as a lot of people are, and they're using that from whatever the way that they're structuring their tax. A lot of the tax returns, they're including that portion of the rent within that as well. So there's been a good demand in those kind of properties. And the second thing that we've noted is a lot of those that have sold now. So obviously, talking about the market in general, there is that sort of, as everyone talks about, whatever happens, but there is that talk of the cliff at the end of the job keeper and the job seeker finishing.
Yeah.
Those people that have sold now, getting a good result on their properties, are going on short-term rent to wait for the market to drop further in their favor and to try out a new area which they may not have had the chance to otherwise.
Yeah, and we're seeing that with the new listings we've got coming up, the vendors are looking at selling and renting the short term. So cash is going to be king in the short term as well. So interesting times ahead.
And the third thing that we've also noticed in terms of rents, when we've gone, so those that are, say, for example, the current tenant has left the property and we're releasing the property, the owners has been sort of saying, well, look, let's not try to increase the rent. Let's just keep it at whatever the tenant was paying. And let's just at least be able to get that, because obviously in their mind, they're thinking that the rents have gone backwards because a lot of tenants have asked for rental assistance as well. However, when we're taking those properties to market, we're ending up getting anywhere from $30 to $50 to $80 even.
More. Creating a bit of competition. So
because it's considered cheaper at the previous rent.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. What about
you? Yeah, right. But you know what's interesting?
Yeah. Have we got you, Mark?
We lost you.
No. So, Stephen, what have you seen?
Yeah, so look, I mean, Mark could probably comment a little bit better on the commercial side of our management business, but definitely look, with the residential side of our leasing department, last month we had a huge month, 59 properties leased throughout the leasing team last month. So really big. I think there's a few factors coming into play there. One was obviously with COVID earlier in the year, such an unexpected time frame, no doubt, as it was here on the beaches, as it was there for you guys in the hills. But just such how can I put it? A nervous time, I should say, for landlords. So what a lot of landlords did, typically instead of putting rents up or perhaps maybe looking for a new tenant, they've been smart, and our management team advised them it's probably in your best interest to keep your tenant in place. The last thing you want to be doing is looking for a new tenant in this environment. So we did see a lot of property kind of that we would normally see transact not come onto the rental market, and we saw tenants staying into properties longer. And now I think as confidence has returned to our residential cycles, leasings are big. Leasings are doing really well. A few things as well is that you're right. There's a lot of tenants. The reason vacancies kind of shot up a little bit here as well is just with such low interest rates, a lot of tenants actually have downsized their rental property. Kind of similar to what you were saying with your clients that have combined that commercial residential element. but we've had a lot of tenants that have downsized. So they might have been leasing a 3-bedroom home. They're down to a 2-bedroom, and they're going to save a bit of money because the rent they're paying is actually on par now with what the rates are offering for them to buy a property and make those repayments. So we're seeing a lot of tenants moving out of the renting cycle into the buying cycle, which is phenomenal. And at the same time, landlords are looking after tenants quite well, which has been great. So yeah, the leasing cycle definitely moving a lot better.
And what we've also noticed is with a lot of the people working from home, so they're even upgrading to the extra bedroom, so they got the home office space as well. So we've noticed that in a couple of the rentals we've done the last couple of weeks as well. So they need the extra space. So
And our Mark, sorry,
Mark's back.
You there, Mark? No, he's there.
No.
But I mean, I was going to say our market's predominantly apartments. Would your market be an apartment market, or you've got a lot of houses, or?
Yeah, so that's an interesting trend there as well. So the way that the apartment market is, compared to houses, apartments are not doing as great, especially those that are newly finished buildings. So we've got a building in a gorgeous Norwester Lake, right next to it, the top of the range, good quality fixtures and fittings, but just to be able to have them leased out because of the oversupply, it's been difficult because people are saying, well, I'd rather get a house than an apartment.
And they've all come on at the same time as well. So there's a flood on the market. There's 30, 40 on at the same time, and there's a lot of options available out there as well.
And obviously, there's a lot of new. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so I was going to say that apartments in comparison to houses is sort of less in demand from those that are looking at making a move from their current leases.
And for the people watching this on the Northern Beaches, what would be I know there's no such thing as a typical or a normal property, but what is the more normal property you might find in the Hills District? How many bedrooms and what kind of rents would you be looking at for something like that?
Yeah, sure. So look, we're in a 4-bedroom property in the Hills District. Would be looking around the 650 to 700, depending on the area, of course. A 2-bedroom apartment, we're looking anywhere, depending on the area.
So we've got 2-bedroom apartments in Norwest, say about 650, 700 as well. Yeah. So there's pockets with Bella Vista, Castle Hill, they can range from $800 to $1,200 per week. But so it's
but some of the areas, for example, like if you go west, like Riverstone is west, right? That is a 4-bedroom single-story home we've just leased out at $585. It was previously leased at $565, so $20 more. Schofield's another area due to proximity to station and schools. We had a property we previously at $585 that went up to $650. So there's an appetite for those kind of properties in those kind of areas as well, and they're the ones that are sort of growing.
Wow. And then, like you mentioned, the new additions of that rail link, and then of course the M7 and the M2 straight to town is great for those areas. Well, so I mean, when good value.
So Steve, how does that compare to Northern Beaches, guys? How does that, Steve? What do you reckon? So just to summarise up, you guys for a so for a 2-bedroom out your way, guys, it starts at about 650 all the way up until, did you say 850, 950? What was your max?
Premium,
Premium. It's probably similar to DY. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, it's not that far. Like, we're a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single car property that's up to 10 years of age is leasing, from 630 to kind of 670. That's our range. We have a lot of that kind of real estate. Nice 3-bedroom apartments, probably another 100, 150 on top of that. So they're very comparable figures.
One of the things, Mark, the comment that you made the other day with granny flats, that was, I can't believe a 2-bedroom granny flat is going up as much as 600s. When you were talking about that. They're
superior to a 2-bedroom unit in a lot of ways because it's like a mini house, So you're not paying the price of a house, but you're one bedroom less. So these granny flats that people are doing are really nice, and they've often got their own street access, so you don't have to walk down the side of the house to get to them. They're on a corner position or something like that. Yeah, they feel like a little house, you know what I mean? So they do well. We've even done some around 720, and then also there's a little hack, guys, that you guys may have seen, which we spoke about the other day as well. I'll just repeat you're governed by 60 metres squared with a granny flat. But some of our clients have actually been a bit cheeky and done 2 balconies on them, one in the front, one in the back. And they've then done a 1.6, 1.8 metre fence around the balcony, and they've done a roof as part of the home coming out, the house roof coming out over the balcony, so it doesn't look unusual. And then they put a glass frameless glass in all the way around, so it created a sunroom or created like a guest room out of the balcony. So it was almost like a 3rd bedroom hack. Those ones rent for really well.
Wow.
That's big dollars.
Yeah, because I mean, an average granny flat in this area is 380, 350, 380, 400 maximum. So
wow.
And they're 2-bedroom. They're 60 square granny flats. Yeah. But they're behind property. So if it's like a long block, and I think you've got to have a minimum of 600, don't you?
Yeah, it depends on the suburb, but sometimes 500 or 600 square meters. Yeah.
So
but they're normally behind
houses. Houses 450. But for rental. Today, obviously, we're covering a lot on rentals and the patterns of what's happening in the market for anyone who's just tuned in. Is there any other hacks or things that you guys would recommend? One that I love in the rental market and patterns that I've seen lately is if 18, 19-year-olds trying to get into the rental market, putting mum and dad on the lease as well, even though they're not going to live there. So often it's a bit scary for a landlord to take on an 18, 19-year-old, but suddenly when there's 40-year-olds on the lease, and then after they prove themselves after 12 months, take themselves off. That's another thing I'm seeing people do more and more. Hey, are you guys seeing any consolidation with rentals? Are people actually... Have you find people trying, because what you're telling me is people are working from home, they're spending more money. So is there a trend where people are, trading out of the 2-bedder to a 1-bedder because they're trying to save, or getting from a bigger house to a smaller house, or the other way?
So bigger to smaller. I mean, look, there's those that are wanting to have that additional room for the office, but those that are sort of, there are downsizing as well, because they're saying that, what they can get in a better area, or those that are upgrading, they're saying, well, if I'm paying this much, I could get another room in that same price, depending on where you're going for.
Or go to a better area in the same price as well.
That's right. Yeah. But in terms of the hacks that you were saying, one of the things that we've seen, if those that don't have rental history, is we're putting them on a 6-month lease, and some of these guys are paying 3 months in advance, so they're paying half of their term in advance. It's a 6-month lease, so the owner's happy because they've got someone in the property. These guys that don't have a rental history, they've got a chance to prove themselves. So there's those kind of trends as well. So there was a lot of initially the doubts from people, like when our investors were looking at buying and saying, well, what's going to happen? Should I make this investment? If they're going in houses and making investment in houses, we are seeing that they are still getting returns somewhat better. But if they're investing that money into apartments, that's where apartments have been affected a little bit more, where the returns hasn't been as high as what they were before, due to supply and demand mainly.
Because a lot of the got it. 60, 100 apartments coming up at all the same time. So
so that's affecting that.
What do you reckon, Steve? Northern Beaches?
A little hack I've got for tenants if they're applying is, if you do have a rental history behind you, you've been great tenants previously, you might attend an open home and you turn up, and it's quite disheartening when there's 25, 30 other groups of tenants looking to secure the property. But a little tip is, and some people like to do it, some people don't, but just offer $5 more a week on your application. And you'd be amazed at how many people don't put on there, look, I'll pay you an extra $500. $500 over 52 weeks, $250. Do you know what I mean? It's the difference. But it could be the difference that makes you stand out above the other applications or gets you first consideration as a tenant on that application.
And the time, if you miss that property, the time you have to take to go and see more and make an application, just put $5 on. That's a good hack.
Yeah, but like the guy said, I think it's great if you don't have that rental history behind you. Yeah, take a 6-month lease. Absolutely, see if you can pay that 3 months or 6 months up front. It'll go a long way in helping you get into a property as a tenant. Definitely, I think it's great. Yeah, that's I think here what I can think of.
All right, guys. before we wind up, is there anything else we can give as a pattern that we're seeing in rentals through this COVID period, or a hack we can give tenants for through this rental period?
I think if you like it, just apply.
Just go hard.
Go hard.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah, if you like it, go for it. And right now is a great time to be a tenant. I'll be honest, the conditions here on the beaches, our rental cycle is very seasonal, and generally the winter months are the slower months. And then if you team that off the back of what COVID's, how that's slowed up the property market, I think if you're a tenant, it's a great time to shop around for another one, because landlords are definitely looking for good people out there.
Well, you know what? I don't think we've always dubbed the term it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. We've always dubbed that term, but we've never really dubbed the term it's a tenant's market and it's a landlord's market. I do have to say, for the first time in my career, it's a tenant's market.
Yeah, on the beaches anyway.
Yeah, and in commercial even more so, 2x.
Yeah, we're seeing commercial properties here like vacant for, I think, a couple of months now. 4, 5, 6 months is becoming very common. You know, even some of the landlords, they're doing the fit out, half the fit out, 6 months rent free, and they're still not getting leased. So
it's a tenant's market.
It's
Wow. Nice.
Awesome.
Mark, you there? We lost you again.
Gotcha. So basically, to sum it up, houses are doing better than apartments. Good properties going as quickly as in the first open home. Those landlords that are advertising the prices as what it was leased at before, not trying to make it any increases, are automatically getting the increases because of the
when it's priced
demand.
Genuinely,
People interested in it. So it's a good time to buy an investment property.
Get in there. Beautiful people. Thank you. Sorry about cutting in and out. Thanks to Telstra. Love ya.
Perfect. Thank you.
See you guys. See you,
PARAZ&BAZ.
Good luck out there today, guys.
Bye.
See you, bro.
Thank you. Bye.